What's up, guys? Welcome back to another edition of 101 Sports and Cards. So, as always, I'm Nathan Holloway. I can't even talk today. And with me, Jared Dresch.
Yeah.
We're starting in the NFL. 49ers finalized a deal with Trent Williams. He will be on the field Monday night. So will Brandon Ayuk because they signed him to a 4-year extension. He did not get Justin Jefferson or CD Lamb. The Broncos made Pat Surtain the second highest paid defensive back ever with a 4-year, $96 million contract. He deserves it. He's one of the best corners in the league. Unfortunately, he plays for the Broncos. The Patriots named Jacoby Brissett their starting quarterback. Everybody knew this was going to happen. Do you think he should start over Drake May?
For now, yeah.
I like Drake May. I always have. I liked him in college. I think he's going to be a great player. He played better in the preseason. I think he should start, but also, I'm fine with Jacoby Brissett starting because their offensive line sucks, so let, Jacoby Brissett go out there and get murdered every game. So, we may see Drake May week 1 because Jacoby Brissett might not last after the first snap on offense because he may get sacked and somebody may, break his neck because the whole defense is going to be on top of him. 49ers rookie Pearsall is out at least 4 games after being shot. He was shot in the chest at a gas station, I believe. The suspect was a 17-year-old who has been arrested and now is being charged with attempted murder. So, good one. Jamar Chase still not practicing. He may not play week 1. Apparently he did practice today. I saw some videos of him at least showing up to practice in workout stuff, not in street clothes. So, of course, him and the Bengals are still in their saga of not wanting to pay him, and he wants paid. Apparently, there have been rumors that he wants exactly 1 penny more than what Justin Jefferson's contract was.
He ain't gonna get it.
I don't understand. Also, Brandon Ayuk, there were trades that apparently they got leaked that the 49ers declined. The Browns offered them a second, a third-round pick, and Amari Cooper for him. I would have taken that in a heartbeat. The Steelers offered, I believe, a second and a fourth, and then a defensive player. I would have much rather taken the Browns. That Browns deal would have been great. But instead, now that you've paid Trent Williams and you've paid Brandon Ayuk, Debo's in his last year of a contract, so most likely Debo's not going to be back because they still have to pay Brock Purdy. And the quarterback market, Brock Purdy's probably eventually going to become the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, although he does not deserve it because he's a system QB, like anybody who's ever played for the 49ers under Kyle Shanahan. So, yeah. Week 1 starts tomorrow or today, whenever you're listening to this. Thursday night football is Ravens and Chiefs. We're going to go through every game for Week 1. We're going to do this every week. We will be going through every single game. So, Ravens-Chiefs Thursday night. Who wins? Ravens. I'm also going with the Ravens. Packers and Eagles Friday from Brazil.
Eagles.
Packers. Go Pack Go. It's going to be a beatdown. Raiders and Chargers. A battle of mid.
Chargers.
I'm going with the Chargers just because the Raiders are going to be terrible. Cardinals and Bills.
Bills.
Yeah. Patriots and Bengals.
Bengals.
The Bengals are the most bet-on team to win this week. Vikings and Giants.
Vikings.
I'm also going with the Vikings. Titans and Bears.
Titans.
I'm going with the Titans, but I believe that Caleb Williams is going to have a great game, and the Bears are going to keep this close. Titans, they improved offensively and defensively and are the better team. Panthers and Saints. This is
Panthers.
more than likely going to be for being last in the division. I'm going with the Saints. Although the Panthers are going to be better than last season. They can't be much worse. But I like that what they added around Bryce Young, and I still have faith in Bryce Young. Steelers and Falcons.
Falcons.
I'm also going with the Falcons. This is, of course, Arthur Smith's, or whatever the hell his name is, revenge game, because now he's the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. But, the Steelers don't have a QB. The Falcons do. They have Kirk Cousins, throwing for 400 yards this weekend against a very great Steelers defense. It's going to happen. Jags-Dolphins.
Dolphins.
I'm also going with the Dolphins. The Dolphins need to win this game because the Jags are like that mid team that people think's good. So if they get this win, it'll actually be, they'll be talking about on Monday that Tua and the Dolphins actually won against a good team, although the Jags aren't going to be good. Texans and Colts.
Texans.
I'm also going with the Texans. Broncos, Seahawks. Seahawks. Cowboys, Browns.
Browns.
I'm going with the Browns. The Browns defense is going to absolutely shut down the whatever you want to call the Cowboys offense because they can't run it. Their running back room would be great if they were in like 2016, 2017 with Ezekiel Elliott and Dalvin Cook, and then they have one receiver in CeeDee Lamb. The bad thing for the Browns is that Deshaun Watson sucks. Commanders, Buccaneers.
Buccaneers.
I'm also going with the Buccaneers just because they're at home. It's going to be a little rocky first week for the Commanders and Jaden Daniels' first start. I think the Commanders make this a close game. It is also supposed to rain in this game. Rams, Lions, a rematch of last year's playoff game, and Matthew Stafford's return to Detroit. I'm going with the Rams on the road. Matthew Stafford's going to go into Ford Field and just lay it to the Lions. And Monday Night Football, the Jets and the 49ers. We will see Aaron Rodgers return. I'm also going with the 49ers. Aaron Rodgers don't get hurt. Make it more than a couple plays.
If you make it past the second play, fourth play, already better than last year.
If you make it through the game with that 49ers defense, give them the MVP award right now. Moving on to this, so enjoy football this weekend. Yeah. Let's go. We're back. Moving on to the association, the Clippers extended Ivica Zubac to 3-year, $58.6 million deal. Steph Curry signed a 1-year, $62.6 million extension with the Warriors. He did state today that he would love to play with LeBron before the end of his career, which could hint on why he just signed a 1-year extension. Maybe he leaves and joins the Lakers for LeBron's final season 2 years down the road. If it's LeBron's final season, LeBron may play until he's 70.
Yeah.
So Lakers fans look forward to that because there's no way LeBron's joining the Warriors. It's just not going to happen. Gigi Jackson had surgery on a broken foot that he suffered in I think it was a pickup game. He's out 3 months because of it, so he'll miss the first month and a half, 2 months of the season. The Pacers extended T.J. McConnell 4 years, $45 million deal. T.J. McConnell is one of the most underrated guys in the league. He's a perfect backup point guard. He's a Spurs type of player, and I'd love the Spurs to get him, but we never will. Now I'm going to continue. I always got to throw in the Spurs. Yeah, I haven't noticed that. We're going to go into ranking or grading off season. So this week is the bottom of the Eastern Conference. The Hornets, the Wizards, and the Pistons. Man, oh man. 3 unbelievably terrible teams.
Dog poop.
So the Hornets, they added Reggie Jackson and Josh Green. They lost Alexis Pakusevsky, who is no longer in the NBA. Very disappointing. Love Paku. Davis Bertans and Seth Curry. They drafted Tijon Salon and KJ Simpson. I give the Hornets a solid C. I love them getting Josh Green. That was a part of the Klay Thompson sign and trade to the Mavericks. Josh Green's a very good player. He just didn't get much playing time. He should start with the Hornets. Reggie Jackson, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I believe they cut Reggie Jackson. But if they didn't, then he'll be a good trade piece. I like Tijon Salon. He's going to be a solid player. He just needs a lot of work put into him. He's a very raw prospect. KJ Simpson's a solid prospect as well. But the Hornets, they got somewhat better, but they're still going to be one of the worst teams in the NBA. Yeah. The Wizards, they added Jonas Valanciunas in a very weird move. Malcolm Brogdon and Sadiq Bey. Remember, Sadiq Bey suffered that ACL injury, so he will miss some of the start of the season. They lost Denny Avdia, who was in the Malcolm Brogdon trade. They also lost Tyus Jones, who they then replaced with Brogdon. Of course, they drafted Alexander Sarr and Bub Carrington, or Carlton Carrington, as I call him. Of course, they got that pick from the Trailblazers in the Brogdon trade. I like what the Wizards did. I gave them a B. Adding Valanciunas is going to be a great mentor to Sarr. They're also going to be able to flip him at the deadline because the Wizards are still not going to be that good. They'll be able to flip him at the deadline. There's already been team. The Lakers are already interested in him. They've been interested in him since he became a free agent. They'll also be able to flip Brogdon Sadiq Bey is a very underrated signing. Sadiq Bey can go off for 50 any night. Whenever he's actually getting playing time. He did not receive a lot of playing time with the Hawks last season because the Hawks thought that they were good and saw that ended out. The biggest question was why they traded Denny. I do like the pick, getting Carlton Carrington and then Brogdon, who they can flip, but I don't. Denny was their best defender. Now it will be Bilal as their best defender. It's a very weird move. I didn't really like it. They could have traded some of their other non-factor guys, such as Johnny Davis. It was bad. I thought I'd say the Wisconsin great Johnny Davis. And then I love Sarr. Sarr's a great pick. I gave him a B. The Wizards are going to be a sneaky good team in a couple years. You know who's not going to be a sneaky good team in a couple years because they're never going to be sneaky good or good at all is the Detroit Pistons. They added Tobias Harris, probably because they were the only team that wanted him. They also added Malik Beasley, Paul Reed, who got cut by the 76ers, and Tim Hardaway Jr., who was in a trade. They lost Evan Fournier, Quentin Grimes, and James Wiseman. Of course, they traded Quentin Grimes to the Mavericks to get Tim Hardaway Jr. You should have just kept Quentin Grimes, who's a solid young player. They drafted Ron Holland. I'm not a fan of Ron Holland. I think he'll be solid. I don't think he deserved the 5th overall pick. I gave him a B-, just because Tobias Harris somewhat makes your team a little bit better. I mean, they can't get worse. They've had the worst record in the league the last 2 seasons. But yet they have not had a top 3 pick in the last 2 seasons. So they also need Cade to come back healthy and live up to the stupidly big contract that they gave him for absolutely no reason. They also need Jalen Duren to step it up some, although he has been their best player. He's also been in trade rumors, and if they trade Jalen Duren, then the Pistons clearly just don't want to win, which they've made pretty clear over the last decade. Next week will be the Western Conference of Thunder, Nuggets, and T-Wolves. Do you agree with all of these, or would you change them?
I think it's an F for the Pistons for getting rid of James Wiseman.
James Wiseman sucks, and they don't need him.
He's my guy, though. But yeah, that sounds good enough. I mean, Saw sucks, but...
Saw does not suck.
We'll find out.
He does not suck. Moving on to Major League Baseball. Garrett Cole exited his last start with a cramp in his calf. If he continues to not stay healthy, he has been off and on healthy all year. He's finally turned it around. I believe he has a 1.59 ERA in his last 6 starts. They have to have him healthy because without him,
they have no pitching.
Yeah, Nestor Cortez has been better. You don't know how Luis Gil has turned into their 3rd best starter, which is sad because Carlos Rodon has just been bad. Luis Gil's also on the IL. You don't know how he'll be whenever he comes back. So they definitely need Garrett Cole. Fernando Tatis Jr. returned to the Red Hot Padres. Padres have been one of the hottest teams in baseball, just like Jackson Merrill has been one of the hottest teams in baseball. Jackson Merrill has now surpassed, and Paul Skeens is now the overwhelming favorite to win NL Rookie of the Year, which he should.
Yeah.
Kyle Schwarber launched 3 home runs in last night's win over the Blue Jays. The Phillies definitely needed that because today Bryce Harper got hit in the elbow with a pitch and left the game. Apparently he also, I didn't see last night, but apparently he also strained his elbow on a swing last night, and it was the same elbow. So, Bryce, just stop getting hurt. I'm tired of it. Wyatt Langford hit a walk-off grand slam Tuesday versus the Yankees. Good for him. Wyatt Langford. Honestly, Wyatt Langford's been one of the most disappointing rookies this season, in my opinion. And the Rangers have been the most disappointing. They could be getting DeGrom back, though, because he is possibly going to start for the Rangers on Saturday. He'll probably throw a solid 2 innings, because I don't even know at this point. There's a month left in the season. You're not going to make the playoffs, because they are right now for the final wild card spot. They're 8.5 games out. You're not going to make that up in a month. I'm going to tell you that because, above them, you have the Yankees. It's going to be either the Yankees or the Orioles. Then you have the Twins and the Royals, who've been great. You have Detroit, who's been the hottest team in baseball over the last month, who are now only 4.5 games out. You still have the Red Sox. You still have the Mariners, who's in your own division. Just keep it. I don't know.
Save Duglan.
Yeah, save him for next year, so that he can make like 2 starts and get hurt again, because that's all he does. If he didn't get hurt, he'd be one of the best pitchers ever. Justin Steele had elbow soreness. He left his last start. His return is to be determined. This is a huge blow for the Cubs. The Cubs have been right up there with the Tigers, with the hottest teams in baseball. I mean, over like a 5-game stretch, they swept my Nationals, which isn't that hard to do. But over a 5-game stretch, they scored close to 70 runs. They definitely need Steele, because their only other starting pitcher that's good is Shota Imanaga, and nobody's even talked about him since the first month of the season.
Yeah.
Willie Adames, his streak ended last night, but he did have 5 straight games with a home run. So we look at the standings right now. The AL East still separated by half a game. A huge loss by the Yankees last night with the walk-off home grand slam by Wyatt Langford. The Orioles lead them by half a game. It is just a battle between them two. Both have a 99.9% chance to make the playoffs. So they're both going to be in. The AL Central, think about this. 4 of the 5 teams in the AL Central are over 500. As a whole division, they are 38 games below 500 because of the 31-109 Chicago White Sox. At this point, the White Sox, they've lost 12 straight. This is their 3rd time this season they've lost 12 or more games in a row. At this point, let's bring on, who's the best AAA team? Make them play the White Sox for who gets to be in the league next year. Because I'm taking the AAA team. Because the White Sox, half their roster shouldn't even be in baseball, let alone rookie ball. They're terrible. But at the top, it's been very good. The Guardians lead the Twins by 4.5 games, the Royals by 5.5, and then Detroit has won 7 of their last 10. They're 10 games out. They're not going to win the division, but they could be in that final wild card spot. The Astros lead the Mariners by 6.5 games. It's pretty safe to say the Astros are going to win this division.
And the back.
Yes, they are. For everybody who counted out the Astros in the beginning of the year, you should never count them out. They're also doing this without Kyle Tucker, which I still don't get why Kyle Tucker's still out. Didn't he have a finger injury?
I don't know.
I thought that's what it was.
I thought it was hand.
Well, your finger's on your hand.
Yeah, but a hand's more important than a finger right now in baseball.
The Phillies lead the Braves by 7.5 games. This division's over. The Mets have won 8 of their last 10 and 6 straight. And they are now half a game back of the Braves. So, congrats to the Mets for going on this magical run, in which you still won't make the playoffs. But I would like to shout out Francisco Lindor, who would be having an MVP season if it weren't for Shohei Ohtani. The NL Central's over. We're not even going to talk about the NL Central for the rest of this month because the Brewers have won the NL Central. They have a 10-game lead. Every other team in this division is straight ass. No offense. It's bad. The Cubs have also lost 2 straight. They went on that magical run, and then 2 straight losses. Sucks for them. Dodgers lead the Padres by 5.5 games. Diamondbacks by 6 games. Corbin Carroll just got named NL Player of the Month. He had an absolutely amazing month of August. Had to think which month was last month. So yeah, those are the standings right now. The wild card in the AL is the Yankees, Twins, and Royals. The Royals lead the Tigers, Red Sox by 4.5 games, and the Mariners by 5.5 games. There's still only been one team eliminated in the AL, and it's the White Sox. So, we could still see the Angels and the A's make a run.
You never know.
It's possible.
This does happen.
The NL, on the other hand, there's 2 teams that have been eliminated. The Rockies and the Marlins, for good reason. The Padres currently lead the wild card race. Then it's the Diamondbacks, and it's the Braves, who sit only a half game ahead of the Mets. But the Mets will they'll screw it up. And then you have the whole NL Central behind them, including and then the Giants, who are just as mid as everybody in the NL Central. So, yeah, I'm gonna say it right now. We're not gonna. I said last week we go over awards. There's really no award that's even close right now. I mean, the Cy Youngs are basically wrapped up with Skubal and Sale.
Yeah.
If Chris Sale doesn't win it, there's a problem. The MVPs are definitely locked up with Judge and Ohtani, especially if Ohtani goes 50-50. Actually, it doesn't matter if Ohtani doesn't take another at bat this whole year. He'd win MVP.
Yeah.
And then the NL Rookie of the Year is easily going to be Jackson Merrill, unless he just slows down and Paul Skeens, goes out and throws like 3 perfect games this month. Which, you never know. But that's not going to happen. The AL Rookie of the Year, I don't even know who's in the running. Because it for sure ain't Jackson Holliday. Because he's been trash over the last 2 weeks. I'm going to guess it's probably
Cowsell.
Yeah. I remember when people were talking more about the AL Rookie of the Year race than the entering the season. Look at that. It just hasn't worked out. Moving on to college football week 1 recap. Number 1 Georgia blew out Clemson 34-3. It was an absolutely horrific game. I watched the whole thing. I really don't know why. 19 Miami dominated 41-17. I also watched this game. I don't know why. Number 7 Notre Dame beat number 20 Texas A&M 23-13. This is a great game. Notre Dame should have won by more. Texas A&M was never really in this game. I'm sorry that I dissed on Notre Dame, but you're still not going to make the college football playoff because you will find a way, like you always do, to screw it up. Number 10 Florida State loses its second straight game, this time to Boston College 28-13. They got it absolutely shoved down their necks. Got it ran down their necks. Everything that went wrong could go wrong. DJ Uiagalelei is one of the worst quarterbacks in college football history. Florida State, they may not win a game this year because they absolutely suck. And what did I tell you? What did I say? Week 0. So they're going to finish unranked. And guess what? They're already unranked. Because I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to do the new rankings here in a second. First, number 23 USC escaped with a 27-20 win over number 13 LSU. Miller Moss looked really good. USC, they have improved. Their defense looked good. LSU did not look that good. The new rankings are number 1 Georgia, number 2 Ohio State, number 3 Texas, number 4 Alabama, number 5 Notre Dame, number 6 Ole Miss, number 7 Oregon. They dropped 4 spots. They did not look very good week 1, but they still have time. Number 8 is Penn State, number 9 Mizzou, number 10 Michigan. Miami moved up 7 spots. This is the second largest move up. They moved up 7 spots to 12. USC moved up the most spots, 10 to 13. LSU dropped 5 spots to 18. And Clemson dropped from number, I believe they were number 3. That's false. That would be 14. More than 11. 14. Yeah, number 14 to 25 because they dropped 11 spots. Florida State dropped out of the top 10. You already knew that because they suck, and DJ Uiagalelei sucks. I can't wait until they bench him. I would have already benched him. The dude is the worst quarterback I've ever seen play. He's bad. He does not know what he's doing out there. And he's had 5 years to figure it out. Dude's one of the worst 5-star recruits ever. Week 2. This weekend, there are 2 ranked matchups and a very intriguing matchup that involves the number 17 in the nation. So the first one, big noon, Saturday on Fox. It will be number 3 Texas going into number 10 Michigan in the big house. Who wins?
Texas.
I'm also going with Texas. Michigan, they got to figure some things out. They let Fresno State stay in the game last week. They were up 10-3 at halftime. They won the game 30-10. They switched quarterbacks. So last year's backup quarterback was Alex Orji. He's not in it anymore. Of course, many people know about Alex Orji because of RG3's call of when he scored his first touchdown and said that there's an orgy in the end zone, which is probably one of the reasons he got fired from ESPN. because he said some very stupid things.
But
He
you
would
make things great.
Yeah. So they've switched QBs. They could not run the ball last week at all. Texas is a very good team. Of course, last week Arch Manning came in to the game in the second half, scored his first 2 touchdowns. Good for him. Must be nice to have that last name because he's still not that good. The next game is number 14 Tennessee versus number 24 NC State.
NC State.
I'm going with Tennessee. Tennessee, their new QB. If I knew how to pronounce his name, I would, but I don't know how to pronounce his name. So, he's very good. Tennessee's a very underrated team. The last matchup that we're going to talk about is Boise State, who a lot of people picked to be that 5th conference champion that gets in to the playoffs. Of course, I didn't because I picked Liberty. They are going up against number 7 Oregon, who struggled last week. Could we see an upset happen?
No.
I agree with that. I think Oregon gets it right this week against Boise State. Moving on to other sports, Scotty Scheffler capped off a historic season. He became the first player to win 7 rounds in a PGA Tour season since Tiger Woods did it in, I believe, 2009. He won the Tour Championship, gets his first FedEx Cup Championship, finally. Golf is off this week. They'll be back next week, but we're not going to talk about golf until probably next year's Masters. Besides, actually next year's Players, because Players comes before the Masters. We will talk about the President's Cup that is coming up in a month, I think. I don't actually know when it is. But there was news today. Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler are to face Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka in the PGA Live Showdown in December. So that should be very interesting because you know how Rory felt about Live whenever it started.
Yeah.
Chase Briscoe wins at Darlington. He punched his ticket to the playoffs. He got off Kyle Busch. It was a great finish. I wanted Kyle to win. I was so close to being right. I think that would have been the first week I've been right all season.
I got the couple right.
Well, good for you.
I'm also going to get the champion right again this year.
So Atlanta is this weekend, but before we give our picks for Atlanta, we're going to go through the NASCAR playoffs. So I'm going to go through the top 16. This is the top 16. The first round is Atlanta, Watkins Glen, which is a new playoff track, and then Bristol. Number 1 is Larson. He's plus 35. Bell plus 27. Reddick plus 23. Byron plus 17. Blaney plus 13. Hamlin plus 10. Elliott plus 9. Keselowski plus 3. Logano plus 2. Cindric plus 2. I want to know how Austin Cindric had more playoff points than some of these guys, besides the win.
Yeah.
Suarez plus 1. Bowman is right on that cut line at 12. He's plus 0. Briscoe and Burton are tied below. And then Gibbs and Truex are both 1 point out. So who gets eliminated in the first round?
I just have who's in it.
Yeah, that's what I have too.
I'll just do who's in it.
Okay.
Because then you can clearly tell who doesn't get it. So I got Lawson staying in, Bell, Reddick, Byron, Hamlin, Logano, Gibbs, and Keselowski.
You have Blaney being eliminated?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's not been good.
I have Larson, Bell, Reddick, Byron, Blaney, Hamlin, Elliott, Keselowski, Logano, Briscoe. Although I hate picking that. Briscoe, Gibbs, and Truex. Because I got to go with my boy, Truex. Yes, I have Alex Bowman not making it because he sucks. And he does not deserve a Hendrick ride. So moving on to the next, it will be the round of 8 after this. The round of 12 is Kansas, Talladega, and Charlotte. Of course, 2 of the toughest races in the playoffs with Talladega because anything can happen. Right. And also the Charlotte is the Charlotte Roval. And we've seen absolute chaos there since they started going there.
I read the wrong thing. Oops. I read that for the first round.
Good one.
Oh well.
So you know his. Mine is Larson, Bell, Reddick, Byron, Hamlin, Logano, Gibbs, and Truex. Of course, the round of 8 is Las Vegas, Homestead, and Martinsville. please bring Homestead back to the final race of the season instead of Phoenix. So who will be going to Phoenix to race for champion?
Lawson, Reddick, Byron, and Hamlin.
I have Larson, Bell, Hamlin, and Truex. I have 3 Joe Gibbs Racing drivers, and then Kyle Larson because, well, as long as he doesn't wreck, he has been the best driver. Who's your champion?
I said at the beginning of the season I'm going to keep it William Byron.
I also said mine at the beginning of the season. I'm going to keep it Christopher Bell. He's had a very underrated year that nobody's talked about.
It's either one's top 5 or gets taken out.
That's a fact. That's a lot of guys.
Yeah.
So Atlanta is this weekend. Who wins at Atlanta?
Christopher Bell.
I'm going with Tyler Reddick. He's always good there. Pato O'Ward and Scott McLaughlin. I failed to mention last week that the Milwaukee Mile had 2 races. It was a doubleheader. I did not know that. On IndyCar's schedule on their website, it had 1. So either I'm stupid and can't read, or IndyCar's stupid and doesn't know their own schedule. And there's a better thing that IndyCar's stupid because I do know how to read. Unless I just overlooked it. With Pato O'Ward and Scott McLaughlin won at the Milwaukee Mile. They have an off week this weekend, and then it will be the championship race at Nashville. Of course, the championship race is double points. I believe they still do that. Palou leads Will Power by 33 points. You believe Palou wins championship? I do too. Charles Leclerc won the Italian Grand Prix. Max finished 5th. Let's go. Because both McLarens finished 2nd and 3rd. So F1's off this week, but what's new? Is that all you have? You have any tennis?
No.
I know
Alcaraz got upset.
Yeah. So did Coco.
Yeah. No.
Okay. There was one other sad news of the Gaudreau brothers.
Yeah.
I've loved Johnny Gaudreau. He was one of my favorite players growing up, whenever I watched hockey. Very sad thing. Don't drink and drive. And also, don't be that piece of shit that did it whenever he was in. Did you see the video?
No.
Whenever the judge was talking to him, and since it was a holiday weekend, he was like, "Oh, I have to be held till next week." It's like, bro, you're going to be held for a lot longer.
You'll be held for like 20 years.
So don't be that piece of shit. And rest in peace to the Gaudreau brothers. Great people. With that, we're going to wrap it up. Enjoy baseball, the playoffs, playoff race heating up, except for the NL Central. Enjoy football. Enjoy college football Saturday. We got football every day this week from now until Monday. You have it Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. This great weekend for sports and especially for me. So hopefully all your parlays hit because I know everybody's going to be betting this week. I will not because I don't have the money to bet, and also I suck at sports betting. So, enjoy that. Enjoy Atlanta. It should be very interesting since now it's basically a restrictor plate track. And, enjoy your weekend. Have a happy weekend. Hopefully you had a happy and safe Labor Day. I worked on Labor Day, so it didn't really matter to me. So, thank you guys for listening. Come back here next week.